Hello everyone, Inquisitor Vaughn here, and in today's video I would like to do a miniature review of miniatures from RTLW Miniatures. They create sci-fi oriented miniatures that could be proxied in Warhammer 40k. And so as part of their affiliate program, I was able to select miniatures that I'd like to paint and review on my YouTube. And so these are the three miniatures that I selected. They sent them over and I've painted them, or at least most of them. And in this video, I'd like to review the quality and just, the awesomeness of these miniatures, as well as explain the paint scheme behind them, the story behind the characters and the miniatures, and why I selected them. So previous to this video, I had already began doing miniature reviews, but it's actually due to people subscribing to my channel and people watching my videos and supporting the channel that I am presented with other opportunities, and one of these opportunities was the affiliate program with RTLW. And so I appreciate everyone who's been subscribing and supporting the channel. Of course, I love doing lore videos as well, but the other aspect of the hobby that I really enjoy is miniatures. I just love miniatures, really detailed, really nice miniatures. And so I'm glad that I'm able to also do miniature reviews. And this video is actually the product of everyone's support. This is the first video that I'm doing of a miniature review that is the result of an affiliate program. Now, what is an affiliate program? Basically, I show miniatures from certain companies and I am given an affiliate link. And what that does is people who use the affiliate link, if they want to buy miniatures from the company, they get a discount for doing so, and I also get some revenue. And not only does this enable people to get miniatures at a discount, but it also helps the channel and it helps me produce content. So it's actually due to the support of you guys, the subscribers, and those who are watching the video, that I'm able to even do this, and I'm super excited to add this into the channel as well. But enough talking, let's get into these three miniatures. So from left to right, the miniatures are the Savant on the left. That's part of the Inquisitorial range from RTLW. And then the middle miniature is the Pilot. And then the last miniature on the right is the Aquila Neowarrior, which is basically a Space Marine without, saying Space Marine. And I chose these three miniatures because my three armies are Inquisition, Necrons, and Space Marines. And so when I saw their Inquisitorial range, I was like, okay, cool. I have an Inquisitorial warband / crew as part of the Sword of Night. And so I was like, okay, what else could I get for the retinue? And so I decided on the Savant and the Pilot. The Aquila Neowarrior is just a beautiful sculpt, and I actually had been looking at it for years, and so the fact that I was able to select it as part of the affiliate program to paint up and show on my YouTube with no cost to me was just amazing. And so I had to jump on the opportunity, and so I selected this miniature as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over each of the miniatures, just like do like a detail shot and go over the ideas behind them. Yeah, let's get into it. So we're going to begin with the Savant, right? So the Savant is actually going to be a member of my Inquisitorial retinue. And I don't know if you remember from the last update on the Inquisitorial warband, but the Inquisitor in the last video gained technically two new servitors, right? Now those servitors were the result of people on the ship or on the Sword of Night trying to steal from the Inquisitor, and they were turned into servitors for their trespasses. And if you don't remember those miniatures, it's actually this one right here. Remember him, the father and the son? Yeah. So he turned into a servitor, or he was turned into a servitor. And then we also have the friend, right? The friend who tried to help the father and the son, and he also got, suffered for it. So those guys were turned into servitors. But previous to them being servitors, they took care of the Azir Library, which is like a database on the Sword of Night for Inquisitor Vaughn, right? So now that they were turned into servitors, there was a vacancy in the in the position. And so Inquisitor Vaughn got a new savant, and this is the miniature that I'm going to use to represent him. Now, I made a name for him. I totally forgot it for this video, but basically, he's the guy that's taking care of the Azure library, the database on the ship. And like I said, this is a savant miniature from RTLW, and I selected it because it just looked cool. He's like hunchbacked. I'm not the best painter in the world, but this is a very simple miniature. You don't have to do very much for it. I love the metal leg. I love the hunched back, and he's just looking at his data slate right there, right? And then I also love his visual arrangement there. You see his eyes. He has like a oculus kind of contraption over his eyes. He's busy. He's walking down the halls, and that's how I envision him, walking down the halls of the Azure library looking for a parchment or a scroll or a data slate, right? So this is the miniature, and even though this is an amazing miniature, I love the shoulder pad there, and I love the eye arrangement they got going on. I think the best feature of this miniature, and I'm going to say this again with the second miniature, is the boot. I don't know why, but like to me that is a remarkably detailed boot. Like, it's so detailed I was able to paint the buckle. Like, that's the level of detail on this miniature, and I love it. As far as size is concerned, it's compatible with my other inquisitorial miniatures. I think it's 28mm scale, so it fits very well. In fact, he's a little bit shorter because he's hunched over. But yeah, this is the Savant. I was able to choose this miniature, and I love it. And for future visual projects, he will be busy walking up and down the aisles of the Azure library. In games, though, not sure what to use him as. I guess I'll figure it out in the meantime. He'll be an acolyte of sorts. But as far as rules are concerned, we'll figure that out at another time. But yeah, this is the Savant miniature. Alright, so next up we have the Pilot miniature from RTLW's Inquisitorial range, and for my army, his name is going to be Firebrand. Now, Firebrand was employed by Inquisitor Vaughn, but before he was employed by Inquisitor Vaughn, he was a thief and a member of a gang of bounty hunters called the Severed Heads. Right? And so when the Imperial authorities of whatever sector he was in before started to pursue the gang, they dispersed. And Victor found himself in the Zahara sector. He sought refuge in the Zahara sector. And so he chilled there for a bit, but it didn't take him long before he began his trade again. And yeah, he started stealing and started bounty hunting for people in the Zahara sector, and this caught the attention of the Inquisition. Now, instead of punishing him for his crimes, Inquisitor Vaughn actually started to employ him because Victor was an amazing pilot, and that's one of the things that he would steal the most. He would steal flyers from the Imperial government and from the Arca Astra Militarum, and so he was actually a phenomenal pilot. And so Inquisitor Vaughn took him and employed him on the Sword of Night to pilot his Aquila lander. Not only that, but Inquisitor Vaughn uses him and his bounty hunter services as well. So in games, Firebrand serves as an Eversor assassin. Right? Now, I chose this miniature not only because I planned on getting a flyer for Inquisitor Vaughn, and I was like, alright, it would be cool if the pilot of the flyer also had a miniature, but also because this is a very interesting looking miniature. It's one of those miniatures that could be used in any sci-fi system, including Warhammer 40k. Like, it's sci-fi enough to be used in Warhammer 40k, but it's also sci-fi enough to be used in different systems. Like the weapons that he's holding, you could always say that those are relic weapons, but you could also say that they're any other sci-fi gun, So my paint scheme for this model is slightly based on Deadpool. The reason why is because I imagine this character, I imagine Firebrand to be ridiculously charismatic and, confident and just cheery all the time because, the environment, the background that he had as a gang member, as a bounty hunter, as a thief, it usually in and literature, those are really enthusiastic characters, and so I wanted to kind of allude to Deadpool, especially since he's an assassin in the game. So the red and black clothing, I put the gloss on it to be like to show like a leather kind of detail. The rifle that he's holding could be an Eversor or Executioner rifle, and then the two pistols on his hip could be proxied as Executioner pistols, right? The helm that he's holding in his hand, I painted like a little inquisitorial symbol on the lens there, but that's just the pilot helm that he uses when he's flying the Aquila lander. And I made up the severed heads off of the symbol on the back of the jacket. So yeah, that's pretty much a story. All of my miniatures are works in progress, right? So I have some work to do on him. I have some more shading to do, and like some of the packets, like the packets on his belt, I'd like to do. But basically, this is the miniature, and this is the scheme I'm going with. Very cool looking miniature. I'm glad to have it, and I think he's gonna look good in the Sword of Night and on the tabletop as an Eversor assassin. Last but not least, we have the Aquila Neowarrior. Now, like I said, I've been looking at this miniature for quite some time, and I just never bought it. And so when the opportunity came for me to, get it for free, essentially, I jumped on that as soon as possible, and I got this miniature. I selected it as part of the affiliate program. Now, I actually did not paint this. This was one of those miniatures where I felt like if I painted it, I wouldn't really do it justice. So I actually went to my friend Stanislav at Mass Graves Studios. You can find his work on Instagram. Just search up Mass Graves Studio. I'll put it in the link below. But basically, I commissioned him to paint this miniature, right? Now, why did I get this miniature? One, I am fascinated by Astartes physiology. I almost say it every time in every Space Marine video that I make. I'm just fascinated by their build, the process that goes into creating them. And so this is essentially a proxy unarmored Space Marine, right? And so I like to see like the build of Space Marines, and there's a lot of controversy and understanding, or different opinions on how Space Marines look outside of armor, or without armor. But I think personally that this is a pretty accurate depiction, right? The bulkiness of the body. I'm not like a scientist or anything like that, so I don't know like proportions wise if it's accurate, but just imagining a Space Marine, I think it would be accurate, right? Now the scheme is painted in, he has like very dark brown skin because he is a Void Lion, Astartes, and he is actually part of my chapter. He's an unarmored Void Lion Space Marine, and part of the reason why I love this miniature is that it reminds me of one of my favorite paintings of or artworks of a Void Lion, which is a Void Lion without armor, right? So Stanislav did an amazing job painting this. I don't think my camera really does deep justice, but the level of detail he put into the brown complexion is just amazing. Maybe if I darken the screen, I'll do that after, but you'll see the level, the different shades of brown, the gloss he added in certain places. He really went crazy on the texture of the miniature, right? But I love this miniature, and like I said, it's been a miniature I've been looking at for quite some time, I want to get it, and so I finally was able to do it. Now, this miniature, when you get it, it kind of looks like this, right? It looks like just a regular miniature. It doesn't have any features on it, and you can actually customize this miniature however you'd like, meaning that you can add hair to it, you can add tattoos to it, kind of like what Stanislav did with this miniature here. Masquerade Studios, what they did was they added tattoos on the miniature. So you see the tattoo, the Aquila on the stomach there, and the tattoos on the wrists. I was told that these are actually decals from Aeronautica, all right? So they serve as tattoos on this miniature. Another thing that Masquerade Studios did was they did green stuff on the head. Like, for example, when you get the miniature, it's bald, right? So you can actually add hair. And so what Masquerade Studios did was they green stuffed a Dreadhawk, or a mohawk dreadlock, or dreadlocked mohawk, excuse me, and it turned out awesome. So yeah, like this miniature is basically a blank slate. It could be painted in any complexion. You could add any symbols. It's really like a collector's item, to be honest. This doesn't really serve any purpose in game, but it's one of those things that you would get if you just love miniatures and just love having uh, something in your collection that you can look at and be like, oh, that's cool, right? And so this is the Aquila Neowarrior. Now, the last two miniatures that I shared with you all, they're at 28 millimeters. Now, the Aquila Warrior, or the Aquila Neowarrior, is actually at 40 millimeters, which means that it's about the height of a Primaris Marine. And just to show that, here's a Primaris Marine, and here's the Aquila Neowarrior. Now, here's the thing. This Primaris Marine is actually standing on like a little extra bit of terrain, so he would actually be shorter. He would be right here, right? And he's also not standing up straight. If he was standing up straight, these two miniatures would be the same height. So basically, this miniature is the size of a Primaris Marine. And it's cool to visualize a Marine without armor. So like I said, it would just be a really cool collector's item, a miniature that you could paint and test your skill with complexion and, you know, body sculpts and things of that nature. And yeah, some people would comment that the head is very small, and I'm actually going to make a completely separate video on that. But basically, there's this idea that if the body is bigger, then the head also grows, and that's just not true. Like I said, I'm not like a scientist or anything like that, but I do want to make a video about scale and things of that nature. But regardless of that, this is the height of a Primaris Marine. So if you wanted an unarmored Space Marine for visual projects, which is definitely what I'm going to be using this Aquila Neowarrior for, definitely get it. If you just want a miniature to test out your skill, I would recommend getting it as well. I love this miniature. It's on my display case, and like I said, I'm going to be using it for visual projects. Masquerade Studios did an amazing job, and they're also commissioned painters. So if you go on their Instagram and you see their work and you like their work and you want to, you know, commission some artwork for them or commission some commission painting, they're definitely down for that as well. So yeah, those are just 3 miniatures from RTLW Miniatures. They have a huge selection of miniatures, and they come up with something new almost every week. So if you're interested in RTLW Miniatures, if you're interested in any of these miniatures or anything that they have on their store or in their shop, please consider using my affiliate link because it supports the channel. And, you know, I hear a lot of YouTube content creators say, you know, it supports the channel, but they don't really go into how it supports the channel. I can't speak for them, but what I will do is speak for myself, right? So what do I mean when I say it supports the channel? Of course, when you purchase something, you get a discount and I get revenue. However, what would it specifically be supporting if you were to use my affiliate links? This is the first one, but in the future I hope to get more affiliate links for you guys so that you guys can get more discounts, and you know, it helps me. How does it help me? It helps me to create visual narrative projects. My lore videos don't cost me anything to make, right? It doesn't cost me anything to make, and so by you using the affiliate link, you would actually be helping my visual projects. If you've seen The Agony of Longinus, or recently I've created The Hunters, I want to do more visual narrative projects, right? And so by you watching my videos, by sharing my videos with a greater audience, and by using my affiliate links, it helps me to be able to get more things in order to create visual projects. I have a 9-to-5 job, so it's not like I need to create a Patreon or anything, but this is a way where you guys can get a discount and you can actually help the channel as far as content creating. And so I'm going to put my affiliate link for RTLW in the comments below, or in the comment section below. And if you are interested, please consider using it. But even if you don't use it and you just want to pay the full price to support RTLW, that's fine too, because they have amazing miniatures and I think more people should know about them. All right. So thank you for watching. If you know someone who would like watching this video or was curious about RTLW miniatures, please share it with them. In that way you support the channel. And without anything else to be said, Inquisitor Vaughn out. Remember, the Emperor protects and the future is successor.